Doma Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, let's talk a little bit of Naoya Inoue. You know, number 3 on the new pound for pound list. Bad dude in the lower weight division is 118 pounds. They make sure that he say he's in the league by his own at 118 pounds. And what my problem is, he's about to fight next week a guy named Jason Molony, who has a pretty good record, 21-1 with 18 KOs. No one of note except for Emmanuel Rodriguez, who lost a split decision to, right? Other than that, not big names, but I will say this. I'm still impressed with his resume. Because when you're 21-1 with 18 KOs, those records where, yeah, you fought some people, and, it was a few journeymen, but a few people with good records, only 2 losses, only 4 losses, stuff like that. And you don't come out with a 21, and 1 record. You can also have a couple of draws in there. You didn't have to knock out everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, at the very least, he's bringing resiliency and power to the game. Okay? Because his only loss is split decision. But Naoya Inoue, saying he's in class by himself and there's no fights for him at 118 is where the problem comes. When I'm talking about these fighters that I keep talking about, the Negro League fighters. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, Devin Haney, Demetrius Andrade, stuff like that. And of course this man here, Taz, Guillermo Rigondeaux, El Chacab, right? Guillermo Rigondeaux's only lost 1 fight, and that's, he's 40 years old right now and has to campaign at 118 pounds. He tried to go up to 122 just to get a few fights because the people scattered. All of the names at the time, the Admiral Morris's, Leo Santa Cruz, Scott Quigg, Leo Selby, and all them guys, Carl Frampton, all of it. Nonito Donaire didn't want a rematch. Right after he beat Nonito Donaire, he couldn't get a fight. Right? So he fights at 122 and couldn't get a fight, so he tries to go all the way up to 130 and lose to Lomachenko. Right? Comes back down to 122 and they take his title. He didn't lose his title at 122. Right? They took it. The reason why is so we can have other people fight for it, because we can't have nobody to fight you anyway. Right? That's absolutely, how do you get stripped? Mikey Garcia didn't do it when he fought Errol Spence. Neither did it happen to Kell Brook when he went up to fight Gennady Golovkin. We've talked about it. It's not fair. But the best thing is to blackball this guy, because we can't get him and get no fights. But what you could do, like I always say, is you can anoint him, keep him in the pound for pound the whole time, so these other guys would have to fight him, so the boxing world and the people who are casual can look on the rankings, see his name, and say why people are not fighting him. But you exclude them. And it's extra. It's done extra. And this is what's going on now. That's my issue with when you're talking about Naoya Inoue. He's number 3 pound for pound. He should not be in front of Guillermo Rigondeaux, because his biggest win, Naoya Inoue's biggest win, is Nonito Donaire at the end of that WBWS tournament, which he won. Got to give him props for that. But that's his biggest win, and he went tooth and nail with this guy. Broken eye socket and everything. Had a hard fight. About 5 or 6 years ago, when Rigondeaux beat him, Donaire was number 3 pound for pound. He wasn't, didn't have all those losses at the time. Donaire only had 1 loss. He was about 33-1. Number 3 pound for pound, the next Manny Pacquiao. He beats him down, beats him real good, and he gets blackballed because what we're going to do, we ain't going to be able to find him no fights. So we'll just penalize him and not the rest of these guys. And this is, documented and done. So that's why people like Rigondeaux would be, always thought about. Inoue is good. Inoue has knocked out people he probably shouldn't have. Inoue is all that. 19-0 with 16 KOs. It speaks for itself. Winning the WBWS tournament. But it's just some people he shouldn't be in front of. When these guys handling their business on these pound-for-pound list, it shouldn't look like it does. But like I told you before, there's no reason for me to be hiding what I think. It's BTBG anyway. But this is an opportunity for me, when I have an opportunity to talk about boxing, I'm going to mention the guys. Those are my Negro League guys. And what I mean by that is, guys, we're not going to give the opportunity to be great. Right? Guillermo Rigondeaux is a perfect example of that, which they could have done. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz can never get a fight if somebody's name is not Deontay Wilder. Right? Demetrius Andrade has been after Canelo at 154, 160 forever, trying to get fights. What happens? Nothing. Even though he had an undisputed fight with Canelo last year, nobody fights him. Devin Haney, as we speak, keep your eyes on that. This is WBC lightweight champion. They made a franchise belt to avoid him with Lomachenko. Lomachenko goes to lose to Teofimo Lopez. Lopez was going to have to fight Devin Haney because Devin Haney is the real WBC heavy, lightweight champion. But everyone's trying to ignore, like they don't see there's an undisputed fight right there. They don't see that this guy, they see this guy's 21 years old. He could be the first real undisputed champion. But we're not going to let that happen. And what we're going to do is what we always do. We're going to actively talk about other things and act like he's not significant. Sounds familiar for all these guys. That's why we have to talk about him. No slight to Naoya Inoue. He shouldn't be number 3 pound for pound. He could be in there. But at the end of the day, he has to be behind Rigondeaux, right? Has to be behind him. This guy's 40 years old and he's at 118 pounds. He has a regular belt, but this is the only regular that you're going to have to do something with. But what they do is act like he's not even there, like he doesn't exist. And that's exactly what happens to everyone that I continue to mention. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.